Hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the ACHA Power Play Live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. And of course, on our Captain Lou Extravaganza Facebook page and on X, as we always are, at The Real Captain Lou. Just want to remind everybody to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you can get all of our ACHA Power Plays and all of our programming on the network live and archived. As again, it's the road to St. Louis is well underway with the ACHA and the 2026 National Championships. And we are coming up to our Thanksgiving break. This is our normal program before the holiday where we just kind of do a synopsis of the rankings and kind of the big games of the past weekend and get you set for the final few weeks before Christmas. And then the marathon part of the schedule is over. Then it goes to the sprint after the holidays. We've got some tournaments coming up, some showcases. We got a big showcase for Division II in Nashville coming up second weekend of January, and so many more things. It is getting to be a fun time of year for the ACHA with the showcases this past weekend in Maryville and of course in Chicago for the men. And we had a big weekend series, big games on women's D1 too. So everything is really starting to ratchet up right now in the ACHA. And so we just want to take time to thank everybody for, letting us be a part of your homes here on this Tuesday night. And again, reminder that tonight's show, as always, with everything on the network, is brought to you by SeatGeek, the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network. And if there's a ball game or something you want to go to, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It is that simple. All right, it's Happy Tuesday, everybody. As we mentioned, Thanksgiving a couple of days away, so that means thank you. It's time to give thanks to you for, again, helping make this so much fun. 10th year of the ACHA Power Play, and without you, it wouldn't be possible. I want to thank all the coaches, all the players, all the administrators that come on the show and help make this, again, a lot of fun. That's why we're doing it. It's really just, it's a labor of love, and it's just a chance to interact with you, the viewer, and of course, watching, listening to all the, watching the coaches, learning every time that I go to a game or, watch a game or whatever. It's really is a fun experience for me. And I want to thank you on this Thanksgiving week for helping make the ACHA Power Play go as long as it has. So again, thank you. Well, this past weekend, there were some big games in all the divisions, really. The center stage, there was two places really on the men's side that took center stage this weekend. In Maryville, they had the Maryville Showcase with ranked teams in Division I, Liberty, Calvin, Arizona, and Maryville. And we'll take a quick look at those scores. We can bring those up on the screen. This weekend, first of all, in Maryville on Thursday, rather, they started out 3 days with 3 games there. Again, for some reason, my computer is not wanting to cooperate. There we go. We started out there with Maryville taking on Liberty on Thursday. Maryville beat Liberty 3-1, and then Calvin took on Arizona, and Arizona won that one by the score of 4-1. And then on Friday, again, it was Maryville taking on Arizona. They won that one 3-1. And then Liberty defeated Calvin 4-3, I believe was the final score in that one. Or 3-2 rather. And then on Saturday, Maryville took care of Calvin in overtime by the score of 4-3, and Liberty beat Arizona 3-1. So yeah, it's a successful weekend there in Maryville. Congratulations to teams that won. Again, a good measuring stick for all those teams as they get ready for a tournament run coming up. I know the coaches really don't want to talk about that, but again, just I know it was a good measuring stick, what they could take from to build on for a potential run to the national tournament. And then in St. Louis, or in Chicago rather, this weekend, Capper Hockey Services put on just a phenomenal event in West Dundee with the D2 and the D3, doing the Big Ten Classic, Big Ten Challenge. They had a 3-day event with the championship on Sunday, and it was Nebraska Omaha taking it on Purdue for the D3 championship, and it was Ohio State and Minnesota doing battle for the D2 championship. And they had some great hockey throughout the weekend there. And it was Nebraska-Omaha getting the win. They're taking home the Big Ten title in Division III. Congratulations to them. And Ohio State won in D2 as well. So congratulations to them. A great turnout. Again, Joey Caprio, want to thank him so much for, number one, letting me be a part of the D1 portion of the tournament. It was an absolute blast doing the games. So many amazing games there. We'll talk about that in a moment. But again, to everybody involved there, job well done in Chicago, and can't wait for it again next year in 2026. That's for sure. Hope to be a part of that as well. It was a great 3 days of hockey. In the Division I portion of it, they had ranked team. I think there was eight ranked teams, 8 or 9 ranked teams out of the 18 that were there. Highlighted by a big matchup on Friday with UNLV and Minot State. Minot State won that one 2-1. Minot State took the crown this weekend as the top team out of all the D1 teams there, and they put on a show. They beat Ohio on Saturday, and then they took care of Arizona State on Sunday in fine fashion. And I'll tell you what, they are. Coach Wyatt Wasylenchuk's team is rolling on all cylinders right now. Just amazing how good they look, but the other teams too. I mean, you had Ohio, you had Jamestown, you had UNLV, as we mentioned, Purdue Northwest, just some of the teams there. Rhode Island, Westchester. I know I'm forgetting some of the other ranked teams that were there, but some of the other teams, Michigan Dearborn looked really solid. Illinois looked good. Illinois State looked good. I mean, everybody had a great showing there. Oregon with an amazing overtime win. Some of these games this weekend, I was on Rink 3 at the Chicago Classic this past weekend. I had 8 games, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Friday, and 2 on Sunday. Of the 6 games Friday and Saturday, 4 of them went to overtime, 2 of them to a shootout. It was just absolutely amazing. So close those first couple of days. Jamestown and Ohio came down to the last minute. Oregon beat Illinois State 6-5 in overtime, I believe it was. Delaware beat Illinois in a shootout. Purdue Northwest played Arizona State, and just a thrilling game back and forth. And Cooper Olsen, what can you say about him? He just played lights out. Unfortunately for them on Thursday, they ran into a buzzsaw in UNLV in that opening game. University of Mary was there. They played really well this weekend for their team. A little shorthanded right now, a little banged up, but they represented themselves real well. And again, really impressed with Jamestown, how well they did. Just taking a look at some of the scores. On Thursday, Delaware, they defeated Mary. Delaware not ranked, but they beat them in a shootout by the score of 3-2. And we mentioned Purdue Northwest against Nevada, Las Vegas, 3-0. Vegas won. And then on Friday, Purdue Northwest bounced back with a big win over Oregon. Rhode Island with a big win. And we talked about Delaware beating Illinois in a shootout. Minot State and Vegas. Utah was there. They defeated Mary 3-2. Big win for Utah. Shout out to A.J. Bolden, the general manager of the Utah squads. Some of the other ones, Ohio and Jamestown, we mentioned that, a 2-1 game there. That was it was amazing. Those games, for some of them low scoring, there still was a lot of action in there, a lot of action. And again, some of the other ones, Drury, they represented themselves real well. They went 2-1 on the weekend. Shout out to Jeremy Law, who got his 150th career win. It was great to see him there. Cliff Cook, one of the members of the Drury squad, one of the coaching staff. It's always amazing to hook up with them. And Drury had a great weekend. And the funny thing is, Ohio played really well this weekend and only got 1 win. I mean, they had a tough schedule. They took on Jamestown. They played Minot, and then of course they played Drury. 3 teams in the top 10 that they played. I mean, that was the quality of competition there. It was so much fun, so good. It's so great to see everybody, as I mentioned. Mary beat Westchester on Sunday, 2 ranked teams. U of M Dearborn went 2-1 on the weekend. They beat Delaware 4-2. They looked really strong on Saturday. And again, Minot played Utah. That was close. It was a 4-2 game. but Minot played really well against them. So, again, congratulations to everybody. It was a very successful weekend all around. Drury a 6-3 win over Jamestown. I mean, it's just those were some of the matchups this past weekend. And some of the other weekend games, how about Indiana Tech? Hope keeping it going. They're looking very strong in their first year in Division I. They had a big weekend, and they defeated Indiana Tech as well. So great to see everybody down in Chicago throughout the weekend, as I mentioned. Great to see the Hall of Fame. I call him the Hall of Fame voice, the public address announcer, Andy Storrs. You can hear him all the time at the Nationals. Great to see Russ Schlegel there. Brian Moran, the commissioner of D1, was there. Craig Barnett, the executive director, and all the coaches. Great running into Wyatt Wasselinchuk, Anthony Vigneri Greener, Dan Huntley from Mary, Carl Trozian from Purdue Northwest, Jeremy Law. We talked about that. Getting to chat with him for quite a while. It just, the brotherhood there, sisterhood, whatever. It's so much fun to be around, talking to the parents, meeting the players. That's what it's all about. And I could talk about it for an hour, just about that. But it was a great weekend. If you get a chance to go to one of these showcases, I'm telling you, it's well worth your time to watch some great hockey, great college hockey in Chicago. In the ACHA, it has grown in leaps and bounds. Can't say enough about it. And again, it just was a fun weekend this past weekend, and can't wait. Again, the next showcase coming up is going to be for the Division II. It's going to be in Nashville, January 9th through the 11th. I'm going to be there. Looking forward to that. Going to see some great hockey, some Southern hockey in Division II of the ACHA, and just really looking forward to it. And then before you know it, as we mentioned, regional tournaments in Division II in February for the men, and then the Nationals are going to be here in March. So we're less than 4 months away from it. It always flies by. It really does. So there you go. All right, before we get to the rankings, again, it's going to be an abbreviated show tonight. It's usually our half-hour wrap-up before Thanksgiving. We're going to give you the latest rankings in all 5 divisions. And then we're going to just kind of highlight some of the scores from this past weekend. Women's Division I. Let's go there. There were some big matchups. Indiana Tech and Maryville. Maryville won 4-1 the other night on Friday night. Let's see. We'll go back to Thursdays, kind of scroll through some of the games. Michigan Dearborn is really playing well right now. A 2-0 win over Michigan. And they swept Michigan this past weekend. Miami and Adrian at Arrington Ice Arena. Again, 2 powerhouses in Women's Division I. Adrian won on Friday night by the score of 2-0. McKendree and Niagara. Niagara with a big win, 5-2 over McKendree. And then probably the biggest matchup of the weekend, Liberty and Minot. A couple of 3-0 shutouts for Liberty, the defending national champions. Minot they're always there in the Nationals. It seems like every year. That could be a preview of what could be to come in March. You never know. Arizona State, they took on Grand Canyon, beat them 5-2. They're always in the mix in Division I for the ladies. Just kind of scrolling down some of the games against ranked teams. Jamestown took on Liberty on Sunday and beat them in overtime, 4-3. So a big win for Jamestown's ladies. That's huge. The latest rankings, we'll get to those here momentarily after the break. In Jamestown, I'm sure that will help them a little bit with that win over the defending national champions. And so just some of the games that went on in Women's Division I. And so Men's Division III, just kind of taking a quick peek. Lawrence Tech over Adrian 3-2. Again, we mentioned there's going to be a new national champion in Men's Division III because of Hope College going to D1, and they're asserting themselves pretty good in the national tournament scene with their rankings. So there is going to be a new champion there. Looking at some of the other scores. Some reason they're not really coming out on my computer. I apologize about that. So anyways, we're going to take that quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to go through the rankings and get everybody's plate set for Thanksgiving as far as the rankings, kind of see where your teams are at. That and a whole lot more. You're watching the ACHA Power Play. It's live right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here. Hey, is there a ball game you want to go to last minute? How about the Spartans at Spartan Stadium? Go to the big house to watch the Wolverines. Is there an NFL game you want to go to? Lambeau Field, Ford Field, wherever, Baltimore. How about the Tigers for the pennant drive? Well, go to SeatGeek. Get those tickets there. Use the promo code Captain Lou right on the screen, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It's that simple. So go to the Spartan game. Go to the big house. But use the promo code Captain Lou at SeatGeek, and you'll be all set. That's right. It's that simple. If there's a game you want to go to, if you want to go to the Lions and Packers game Thursday afternoon, there's still some tickets available there. Use the promo code Captain Lou. If you want to go to Michigan, Ohio State, USC, UCLA, NHL games, you name it, other NFL games this weekend, go to SeatGeek, the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network and the ACHA Power Play. Use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It's free money. Why not? So it's that simple. Just takes a second. SeatGeek, the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the ACHA Power Play Season 10, the road to St. Louis 2026. We've got it in high gear. We're getting ready to go. We got it kind of in second gear right now. After Thanksgiving, we'll put it into third gear. And then, of course, after Christmas, we really put it in overdrive as the marathon will become the sprint, where we really dive deep into the rankings and into the matchups, because they get ever so more important for the rankings in the divisions. So without any further ado, on Tuesday nights, the women's Division I rankings always come out fresh. So let's take a quick look at those, and I might even be able to see if I can work my magic here, maybe bring this up on the screen. This is what I call the magic of live TV here. Let's see what we got here. Well, maybe not. Okay, well, anyways, I thought I could. But again, the magic of live TV. Let's get you those rankings, though, shall we? We're going to go right to them. And then again, not a surprise, at the top, the Liberty Flames. They're at number 1. Number 2 this week is going to be Maryville. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time here. Let's just see. Oh, I guess I can't. All right. Okay, well, forget it then. All right, let's just go back to what we were doing. Sorry. I tell you. All right, Midland is your number 2 ranked team in women's Division I. Liberty, again, at number 1. McKendree at number 3 this week. Maryville bumps up to number 4. We talked about Michigan Dearborn. They bump up to number 5. Minot State, with a couple of tough losses, they're down to number 6. Adrian stayed the same at 7. Niagara moved up to number 8. So they're sitting pretty good there. And then Arizona State will be at number 9. They bumped up. Again, always great to see them in the national tournament. Jamestown, big win for them against Liberty. They bump up to number 10. Miami falls down to number 11. And then you've got the bottom 4 that stayed the same: UMass, Michigan, Indiana Tech, and Michigan State University. Now, one thing to keep in mind, with the women's Division I, there's 3 auto bursts this year. The CCWHA gets their champion in, the Western Women's Collegiate Hockey League gets their champion in, and the Women's Midwest League gets their champion in. And so what that means is that if you want to be safe to get into the national tournament, you want to probably get in the top 9, unless you know you're one of those teams that's going to get the bye. So, and right now, for example, there are no teams ranked out of the Western Women's Collegiate Hockey League. So you, just to be safe, you want to get yourself a seat. You want to be in the top 9 in the rankings at the end of the year. And the national tournament, again, is pool play, 4 groups of 3. So it's a little different than it was a couple of years ago. This will be the second year of that format. All right, the men's rankings in Division I. Now, the latest ones will probably come out tomorrow. They usually come out on Wednesdays, and I always share them on my social media pages. But as of this past weekend, the number 1 team in the land, Niagara, Tom Meridian's team, doing really well, achieving that number 1 ranking. They've kept it. Ohio at number 2. Minot's at number 3 right now. I think they might move up after the most successful weekend they had at the Chicago Classic. Liberty at number 4. Adrian is at 5. Calvin was at 6. We'll see if that what they were 0-2-1 this weekend. We'll see if that affects them at all. Drury at 7, they had a good weekend. Las Vegas at 8, they were 2-1 against stiff competition. Jamestown 2-1 as well at 9. Maryville, will they bump up? They just might. I think they swept this weekend in their showcase. You might see them bump up a little bit. University of Mary, they'll probably say about the same. We'll see. Hope College at 12, they had a good weekend. Stony Brook at 13. Purdue Northwest went 2-1 at the Chicago Classic. They're at 14. Grand Canyon at 15. Indiana Tech at 16. Utah at 17. It was great to see them there this weekend. Pittsburgh at 18. IUP at 19. Cleary at 20 out of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Villanova at 21. Westchester at 22. Grand Valley at 23. Rhode Island at 24. It was great to see them this weekend. And Davenport at 25. So those are the rankings for the men. They get 8 automatic berths and then 16 more at large. So you're talking you want to be about the top 18 or 19 just to be safe, because some of those teams up in the top tier are going to get the auto berths. So I would say, just to be safe, you want to be up in those top areas, top 15, whatever you want, top 20, to kind of secure yourself a spot down in St. Louis. So yeah, those are your rankings for men's Division I. In Division II, this is where I probably should have worn my glasses because it's a little bit choppy. I'm going to give you the top 2 in each. You can look at them at achahockey.org. I apologize about that. Here's the thing. We talked about this about a month ago. It's a little different this year with the rankings and with the regional tournament. It is now, there are no auto berths out of these regions. It's 1 through 16. They go to the regional tournaments this week, or coming up in February. And we're going to have the dates and times. We'll have those for you here in the next week or two. Dave Kurtz was on and he gave us, the tentative dates, and I think they're final now. We'll get those by next week. So it's a 2-day format for the regional tournaments now. And the 4 bids will all be won. So you got 16 teams. You got to win 2 to get in, and they reseeded after the first day. So it's going to be very, very interesting for some of those tournaments coming up in the end of February for those regional tournaments. The top 2 teams in the Central Division, the defending national champions, the Lindenwood Lions, they're at number 1, and St. Thomas is at number 2. Minnesota is at number 3. And of course, I can't read number 4. So I better just leave it at that. Some of those lighter colors, I'm just having a hard time. Again, next week, I promise I'll have my glasses on down here. In the Northeast region, I think that's Niagara at number 1. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. Then you've got Farmingdale State at number 2. So it's good to see them up near the top again. In the Southeast region, the number 1 team, Florida Gulf Coast, they're always there. They're always a perennial national power in Division I, or in Division II rather. They're at number 1. Tampa's at number 2. Indiana's at number 3. Ohio is at 4, and Penn State at 5. Those are the ones I can read. Like I said, sorry, without my glasses. I really apologize about that. South Carolina is at number 6. And it's like Florida Atlantic at number 7. So we'll keep, and Liberty at 8. So those are your top 8 teams. And finally, in men's Division II in the West, Oklahoma State is currently ranked number 1 in their region. And then you've got Weber State at number 2. Then you got Montana State at 3, and so on down the line. Looks like Utah at 5, Utah State at 4, and University of Providence at 6. And so those are your top teams right there. So again, just to kind of keep in mind, the top 16 teams in each region will go to regional tournament action in February. I think it's the weekend of the 21st. And to get qualified for the national tournament, they take 4 teams out of each region. Then they set up the pool play, and it goes from there. All right, men's Division III. Let's take a quick look at that. A little bit easier to read. Top 16 teams go to the national tournament here again as well. And then you get seeded and whatnot. Again, there will be a new champion in men's Division III with Hope College now up to D1. Middle Tennessee State, still ranked number 1 in the country in men's Division III. Tampa's at number 2. Oakland is at number 3. South Florida at 4. Nebraska, Omaha at 5. We'll see how if they move up after winning the Big Ten Classic in Chicago this past weekend. Grand Valley's at 6. You've got South Carolina at 7. Yes, I think I might have grabbed the old ranking. Let's see what we got here. Maybe I can bring. Yeah, here we go. Middle Tennessee State at 1, Oakland 2, South Florida at 3, Tampa at 4, Calvin at 5, Nebraska, Omaha at 6, Central Maine at 7, the Air Force Academy at 8, St. Vincent at 9, Dordt 10, South Carolina at 11, Grand Valley at 12, Northwood at 13, Michigan State 14, Clemson 15, and UMass 16. Those are the rankings right now in men's Division III. And again, the top 16 go. There is no poop. There's no regional qualifying anymore for D3. So it's so imperative that the top 16 at the last one, they go. Then they get into their pools for the national tournament. And I got to tell you, those pool play games in all the divisions are just something to behold. They're so good. First couple of days especially, you just never know what's going to happen. And then finally, the top teams in Women's Division II. Again, apologize about not having my glasses on. I'm going to try to read these the best I can. Sioux College, ranked number 1. This is the last year for Sioux College, by the way, in Women's 2. Next year, they're making the bump up to D1. So that's going to be fun to watch them as they embark in a new adventure going to D1 starting 26-27. Central Michigan is at number 2. Northern Michigan is at number 3, and I believe that's Ohio State at number 4. Then in women's in the Northeast region, Boston College is at number 1, Providence College at 2, Northeastern at 3, Boston University at 4, and Sacred Heart at 5. If I read that right. In women's Division II, Southeast region, Villanova at number 1. And of course, Liberty at number 2, the Naval Academy at 3. And gosh, I can't see that number. I can't even read that number 4. I'm sorry. And finally, in the West, St. Thomas at number 1, Assiniboine at number 2, Maryville at number 3. Oh my gosh, what? I'm not even going to guess that one. So there you go. I must have tired eyes tonight. I really, again, apologize. So that's kind of the ranking right now for Women's Division II. So there you go on that. So a lot going on with the ACHA coming up after Thanksgiving in the month of December. We're going to have the Executive Director, Craig Barnett, will join us, as he always does in December, kind of give a state of the ACHA interview, kind of see what's up in his world. You know, we talked with Dave Kurtz, the executive director, a few weeks ago, and he said that, you know, now it's when they start getting more into the planning, not really in the planning stage, but now they can really start focusing more and more attention, more like on a monthly basis, bi-monthly basis, getting things set. They've been going to St. Louis now for a few years in a row. It's a great location for the national tournament. So we'll talk to Craig about that, and then everything going on with the overseas trips that are coming up in January, and then at the end of the year, I believe they may have another one coming up. It's just, the word is out on the ACHA. Again, just so excited to be a small part of it. So, and then again, we've got great tournaments coming up in December. There's one here locally in Michigan, the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame tournament. And as of right now, all 4 teams that are in it are ranked: Calvin, Hope, Grand Valley, and Davenport. Those are going to be blockbuster games that weekend. It's the weekend of the 5th and 6th of December. That's just one of the showcase of tournaments, whatever, as we wind down the calendar year of 2025 and get you ready for 2026. So a couple of milestones before we go. As we mentioned, Jeremy Law, congratulations on him with his 150th career win. And Gary Astalis, the head coach at Adrian, just got his 300th career win this past weekend. And they've built such a program at Adrian as well. Perennial national power on the men's side, on the women's side. Tyler Cataline doing a bang-up job with the D2 team right now, as they're looking to try to get back to prominence in D2 as well. So a lot going on there. Aquinas now with 2 men's teams at the D1 and D3 level. And of course, their women's team doing well. And just So many things going on in the ACHA throughout the country. It's expanding. Just it's great to see the hockey South teams back. Yeah, it's things are looking really good, and it's been a great year so far, and it's going to get even better. All right, that's going to do it tonight for our pre-Thanksgiving show here on the ACHA Power Play. I want to thank everybody for welcoming us into your homes, on your computers, on your laptops, however you watched us around the world here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Next Tuesday, we'll have another brand new edition of the ACHA Power Play. We'll have some guests lined up for that as well. So until then, have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Well, I know there's a couple of games going on tonight, by the way, real quick in D1. I did want to mention that. I know there's we've got Adrian taking on Indiana Tech, a couple of ranked teams there, and Hope and Davenport doing battle tonight at Patterson in Grand Rapids. So the Michigan area, a couple of Tuesday night games. And so those ought to be some good matchup as Gary Estalis and Frank DeCristofaro get to go against each other tonight over at Arrington. Actually, that one's underway right now. And Hope and Davenport, Chris Van Timmeren's team, making the jump to D1, and they're doing pretty good so far, but they're going to have their hands full tonight at Patterson. That Patterson team is good. They're quick and they're big. So they're coming. So 2 big matchups tonight in men's Division I. All right. I promise that's going to do it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe, especially those here in the state of Michigan this coming week. We're going to get a bunch of snow, depending on what part of the state you live in. So be safe. Everybody else, of course, be safe as well. Enjoy with family and friends, whatever. Have a great Thanksgiving week. And until next week, Captain Lou saying, keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving. And as always, keep your minds open. So long, everybody.